Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What I've said, and you know what I've done, and you know what we're doing, and you know what I know what you're doing.
And what you're doing is watching Talking with TalksALot, the variety talk show that shows you that ADHD can actually be AD4K. I'll let you figure that one out. Joining me today is the wonderful and creative Mike Evans from the awesome pixel art show and music and all that other stuff that he does from X-RL7. Welcome, sir. I am super happy to have you on. Welcome,
hey. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Corey. It's an honor to be here. And you know what, to get in the mood for the show, I was listening to this banger of a tune called Sins of a Collective Mind, which is Sir TalksALot composition. And it's an absolute tune, sir. And I'm not just saying that to be polite, in that sort of like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Sort of like, it's genuinely, it's a great track, man. Well done.
Thank you.
When are you going to release it?
For sale?
Yeah.
Hadn't even thought about it.
Bandcamp.
I probably
should. There, free.
Where is it?
On Bandcamp. It's like free. You don't have to pay any money. Something to think about maybe.
Heck yeah. I've been pondering selling some songs here and there. The Dix Division boys are pushing for me to release that Dix Division Day for sale.
It's a good group.
I might actually do that. So real quick, we'll say hi to the chat. Hello, Raz, Rihanna Spires. Pleasure to see you. New faces are always welcome here. I'm sure you followed Mike over. So thank you, Mike, for bringing some new faces around.
Raz is the admin of the X-RL7 Discord, so she's nice. I know her very well.
Awesome. So my usual suspects haven't shown up in the chat yet, so we'll get to them when they actually do finally peter into trickling in and stuff. But anywho, so tell me, I know there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with your music and stuff, one of the questions I wanted to ask you got asked in your question and answer thing as far as like what your favorite song is that you've made so far.
Yeah. Well, my favorite is a song called Digital Deities, which has Aesthetic Perfection, the vocalist of Aesthetic Perfection, the songwriter of Aesthetic Perfection, Daniel Graves on vocals. And it's just, for me, it's like there's another artist involved called Blue Starley. He's an electronic rock artist, and you've probably heard his music without even knowing it because he gets it in a lot of movies and commercials and things like that. And he's got this one song called Ultranum, which is my template of a perfect electronic rock kind of metal song. And it's got this big cookie chorus and like these aggressive vocals, and it's just really well written. And that was a little bit of my template for Digital Deities. Nice. And it came out really well. So
yeah, it did because Digital Deities was the one where you had the guy do the shitty scream when his laptop cracked out, right?
That's right. Yeah. And Daniel seemed to absolutely nail that.
That was so great. Like, I remember watching that episode and just being like, man, he wasn't lying when he said that guy like nailed it.
Thanks, man.
Hello, Lasso of Truth. It's good to see you, Trina. As always, president of my fan club right there. Hey. I think it consists of a whole one person, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. So everybody knows that it started out as a video game, and
everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows that. And if you don't, go watch his latest video, question and answers. He talks about that some more. It's great. But what hooked you up with Roggers?
Oh, Roggers, he's literally, he's been my best friend for like many years. Him and Lee, who's also in the show. I met him because he lived next door to my grandmother, and saw him over the fence one day when we were little kids, and they're like, hey, and invited me around. We played SNES. Yeah, nice. That was fun. Super Nintendo. bit of tennis, Mario, that was a lot of fun. So he's someone who I just knew, just as you do, who fortunately has become extremely good at voice acting and playing camp voices.
Dude.
So yeah.
That Alfie voice is killer. I am still trying to replicate it, but because I like the way he just delivers on it. You got some good talent on your show, bro.
He's awesome, man. Yeah, I checked out your interview on the. I'm afraid I can't remember their names, but the puppet one.
Floral from Under a Rock. Yeah,
and you were dropping some voices on that were pretty impressive, dude. They came out of nowhere, but the high one.
I've been pretending to be a voice actor for about 11 years now. I do things here and there. I really like making comedy voiceovers. So it's, oh damn, I can't post any links. Yes, sorry, Raz, Rihanna, whichever you prefer. That's for mods only. No offense made. But so, and when we were on, I think it was Thursday Night Throwdown, you were on with us. A lot of people in the chat were bugging me to ask you if you needed any voice actors and stuff. So I'll just get that out of the way. If you need any voice acting stuff that you think I could fill in, let me know. I do currently 18 different accents and several character voices. So if you have anything you're having trouble placing a character in, let me know. I'll gladly throw my hat in the ring. Now that my shilling is out of the way.
For sure, man, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your favorite thing to do for entertainment as a kid? Because you grew up in London area, probably, or
sort
give
of,
or take.
London-ish,
Ish. That's a weird area because it splits off into different boroughs and all kinds of different stuff out there. So
I grew up in a county state called Hertfordshire, a little town in Hertfordshire. And what did we do, man? You've really got me thinking now. Comics, and I remember we went through this phase of getting into anime pretty hard, which was really fascinating because at the time, they just think it was called Manga Entertainment at Manga UK, and he had these animes, but there was this concept where, because they were still kind of new, like the adult, cartoon, it wasn't as common as it is now. They did this thing where they would add a ton of swearing to it to make the age rating go up, so to get it to a 15. So you're listening to this these great I'm gonna do a video on it actually. This anime called Cyber City Oedo 808, my favorite anime of all time. And it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's full of the Blade Runner cyberpunk vibes. But my God, they do swear every few seconds. It's just hilarious. But yeah, were you into anime at all?
I do enjoy anime. My go-tos are, of course, I never say the name correctly according to the purists, but Evangelion is one of my favorite all-time animes. And then, I'm big on more brutal animes like Akira. I am big on One Piece is great. Fairy Tail is fantastic. Dragon Ball, of course. I didn't know that this particular one you were talking about, the Cyber City Oedo 808.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name of it, but it turns out I've actually seen a couple of those episodes because I recognize the lead character. And that's another one I'm going to have to check out. You guys, you comics, all these people that I run into are always like, check out this anime. And I haven't been disappointed yet. So I'm going to check out that one.
The list of recommendations just piling up.
It's huge already. I mean, it's big.
I'd say the first time I saw Akira, I was way too young because they were playing it on one of the channels, TV channels here, and it was one of those late night anime things. For some reason, they had a collection of animes, and I can't remember how old I was, like 10 or something. And I just stayed up to watch it without my parents knowing. And I don't know, you remember there's that one scene where the dude's guts fall out?
Yep.
And Oh my god, that haunted me for years. I saw it way too young, dude.
Yeah, I was about the same age when I saw that for the first time.
Yeah.
I was really hooked on the super bikes, and then like the big blobby thing at the end, like that monster that they played
Fleshy
with.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, like the moment like I saw that, and then like I think a few weeks later I actually watched Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, where Cartman turned into the big blobby thing from that or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like it was like reliving the trauma in a much more enjoyable way. You know, like
Fun trauma. That's the way to
it
go.
is. It is.
That's what musicians do.
Christian Delorme. Hello, hello. Glad you could make
Hey,
it.
hey.
As always, sweet car on that picture. So when it came to like anime and stuff in the UK, obviously you probably had a little bit of a different choices than we did. We had a lot of super mainstream shit. Like most of it was Dragon Ball, and I don't know if you could classify Pokemon as an anime.
Oh yeah, I suppose you
like,
do. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the big ones over here. So, are there any like little known animes that you've seen that you would suggest people come and watch it? You don't hear people talk about
from any era, I would
any
say.
era at all. Yeah,
I would say I don't know how obscure it is now, but if you heard of Steins Gate, that's awesome.
Steins Gate.
So it's about this dude who somehow manages to send a text to himself like a few days earlier, and in doing so, he witnesses someone dying, and by sending this text, he apparently stops it, and he just keeps. It's a really hard thing to describe. It's based on a game, but apparently it gets a bit conspiratorial, and what's that place that does the CERN? Apparently CERN is getting involved, and they're trying to stop him. And it's very, very good. I'm not selling it very well, but it's the voice actor who plays the lead is fantastic, and it's well worth a look. Steins Gate.
Steins Gate.
Yeah, it's pretty
awesome
sweet.
One. Hail, sir. Glad to see you here. And of course, my yelling at park cars counterpart for the Young Man group, Nick Weiser. Good to see you, sir. Glad you can make this one. Yes, that man and I need to get together for a metal track, honestly, because
you said to me that
he's got some.
Sorry, you said to me that you were into Killswitch Engage at one point.
Yes, I still love Killswitch. They're my workout music. Obviously, I'm not really doing a ton of that right now, but yep, Killswitch is one of my favorites. I can't remember any of the names of the songs right now, but yeah, I'll listen to that anytime. It usually puts me in a bit of a aggressive mood, so it's kind of like
that's the thing.
Gotta be selective.
Drive a bit faster.
Yep, and then a band I discovered recently that is Black Tiger Sex Machine, and they are very techno metal.
Okay.
Well, they're more like dubstep metal. And as the name would suggest, they're not very child friendly. But if you haven't listened to those guys, I would suggest checking them out. Black Tiger Sex Machine is an amazing like dub metal band with, yes, what a name. Yes.
Awesome.
My
sounds right up my street.
Dude, yeah. My roommate actually turned me onto that. He likes to blast that at the Amazon warehouse where he works and drive all the people crazy because it's not the usual like Shakira they listen to and shit. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that band Ninja Sex Party, although they're
Ninja
a bit tamer.
Sex Party.
It's got the dude from Game Grumps in it, you know, the YouTube Let's Play series. It's got one of the guys from that in it. It's pretty cool, pretty tame, but it's just it's funny. It's pretty good.
They look like they're a wild time.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to put that one up on the screen. I feel like No Green Rock should be here so he could clip this and just use it for some. What the fuck? No, it's a Brave tab. There it is. So this right here. So particularly this picture.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Dane. What are you doing? It's not listening to me. I don't know why.
Can massage it nicely.
Piece of shit. Here we go with my boomer run for the day. Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Ninja Sex Party. So, again, this right here seems like this would be a good meme for the Dix division. So,
well, the singer's name Danny Sexbang, so you can't argue with
that. Danny Sexbang. That is fantastic. I like that. So, speaking of names, how did you come up with X-RL7? I think you might have answered this before, but
I don't think I've answered it on. I think I may have answered it in an interview yonks ago. I tried to avoid this question because the truth of the matter is I was trying to come up with something that was quite unique that you can search for on like the first page of Google or DuckDuckGo or something that felt right. So quite honestly, it's a name which felt right coming off from the game, like my band Mixy One. That was a similar mentality. It was Mixy One. That was more of a mix of electronic elements, but in a similar vein. Sorry?
I've listened to some of it. It's good.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. It's similarly with that. It was trying to come up with a name that's kind of unique, which felt right. So I don't have a great answer for this stands for this in a minute. But
all good.
In fact, I kind of referenced that a little bit in the show. There's a couple of times where people ask what the name is and it cuts out what the meaning of the name is.
Yeah.
So unless you guys want to help me with an acronym, then it's all good.
Nah, dude, X-RL7 is great. It adds a little bit of mystery to it. It's like it fits the genre that you punch out. And so what was that compressor you said you like to use? What was that one again?
Oh, that was JST gain reduction.
JST gain.
It's basically like it's virtually a limiter, so it really crushes the vocals. The really quiet stuff is just as loud as the loud stuff, and it sounds great for rock and metal because it really gets it right in your face. And that's my go-to compressor for any vocal things. If vocalists send me stuff without any compression on, I'll whack that on it. It's nice and gritty, and it works really well for me. How about yourself?
I am actually so green at this music stuff because I just decided to start singing last year.
Wow.
And making music last year. Most of my songs I put about, and this is going to sound really cheap. I don't know. It feels like stupid to me, but usually most of my songs only have about 10, 11 hours worth of work in them.
That's
from
impressive.
writing, from writing to release, it's about 10 hours. But then again, I don't have to make the music because I am not a musician, to say the least. But I don't even really know which ones to use between limiters, compressors, flangers, flangus, the various
flanges. Yeah,
I don't even know what they do.
It sounds like you got a bit of an effect on that track.
Yeah,
the Sins track.
The Sins track, I literally just put what I thought sounded good. Like I went through 70 different plugins and like all this other stuff, and I don't even remember which ones I used, honestly, because I should have written it down. But that, like I said, ADHD is all over the place. So I'm all like, "Ooh, that sounds good. Let's not take notes. Let's just do this and this. Oh yeah, that sounds good." So like, I'm a pretender when it comes to most of these things. Like I go by sound. Like when I'm doing all my sound editing for voiceover, everything that I do is all by ear. So like, I couldn't tell you what I use.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's some of the best guitarists, well, my favorite guitarists, don't even know much music theory, myself included. It's all by feel and what sounds good, right? So sometimes, like you're saying, like creativeness just goes through. So it sounds great. That's all I can say about it. Like the new track.
Yeah, and I am, of course, trying to learn these things. So any advice you can give,
For sure.
I will be open to it, even if it doesn't have to be right now. But like,
Absolutely.
if you were ever like, hey man, I just listened to your song. This like, if you did this, it would be great. Like just any little, because I didn't know that limiters and all that stuff actually crushed it like you could. So, and I don't even know what the function of that is other than normalizing the audio sounds, right?
Essentially, yeah, just keep stopping all the loud peaks, keeping them like the same level. But it sounds very good on vocals when you crush. I love stuff crushed, and I have so many conversations with mixers trying to dial it in right, because it just that's much of my life in this series is speaking with mixers and reining things in.
Yeah.
Because I don't mix stuff myself, because
Right.
sadly that's not a talent I have. Otherwise, it would save me so much money, dude. So much money.
I bet.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I'm getting quite good at communicating what I want, and I could definitely help you with some basic fundamentals. So
that's all I've ever really needed. Like my entire life has been dive in head first and figure it out as I go. Not the greatest approach, because I know a lot of people like to make plans and like blah blah blah, but I'm a jump in and do it kind of guy. So like I said, like my turnaround for voice acting stuff, like people are like, hey, can you record this for me? I'm like, yeah, 24 hours is
I've already done it.
Usually the longest time it takes me to do any voice acting work is 24 hours. And that's just because I have to do adulting stuff too, like cleaning the house. And
yeah.
But I mean, I'm a quick fire, quick results kind of guy. So
that's beautiful. I love that, and I respect everything about you because of that. Because I've been waiting years, well, literally like over a year, for like one file in particular, for the show, which finally came the other day. It's yeah, definitely. I appreciate a quick turnaround time, so that's very cool.
Yeah, and well, the way I was taught with the voice acting stuff is I jumped straight into the mainstream voice acting. And they, like most of the jobs' deadlines are anywhere from 8 hours from when they post it to 2 days. You don't get any longer than 2 days to get this project done and get it over to them. Because voice acting is literally the last thing these people want done. So I got into the fast pace, turn it around for the corporate types. And so far, that's like, I will record something on Sunday and Comics will have it on his channel on Monday. Like the video I'm releasing tomorrow, I haven't even done yet, but it'll be done in like 2 hours when I'm finally done, adulting. But
when you say you learned, you say like you learned voice acting, I'm curious what training you had.
Okay, I did not. Okay, that was a slight. That was a misrepresentation.
YouTube videos.
I made it up. Everything that I've done is self-taught. I have received 0 training. I have received 0 support from any mainstream actors. I had a 2-hour phone conversation with Mr. Robin Armstrong. He runs a voice acting coaching class out in LA. And he said the same thing that everyone said to me, which was, you have a lot of talent, but your skills aren't what people want. I'm antiquated and, too sing-songy and this and that. And so that guy is the reason I dropped out of the mainstream stuff almost completely, because I see some of the stuff he promotes and I'm like, I did 1,000 times better than that on the call that we had, but whatever. I won't let it get to my head, but no training. I'm self-taught on everything from voice acting to singing to you name it, video editing. I don't watch tutorials online. I tried watching a Blender tutorial one time and my brain exploded. So it was like,
I thought you literally meant a blender there for a second. I was like,
oh yeah, Oh, still in one piece. No.
Just put a lid on? What?
No, that's what that's for. Okay.
But I think that's a really good way to do it, dude. I think just diving in, because so many people have plans where they plan to do stuff, they get it, they just spend all their time planning and don't actually do it. And I think it definitely, you know, even with creating like animation or something like that, there's many people I know that they're very perfectionist and they'll spend months and months on something and they don't know when to let it go. And you just got to do it sometimes and just get it out there, move on to the next thing, keep creating and build a bit of momentum. Sounds like you're doing exactly that.
Thank you. And one of the things that you said when we were on Thursday night actually stuck with me. And it's that when you feel like saying something, you say it. Like in your music or whatever, you don't feel like there's like a cringy moment where you're like, I shouldn't put that out there because, you know, maybe it's a little too much or whatever, but you did it anyway. Like the first episode of X-RL7, for instance, like hits hard politically speaking, as far as like your stances on free speech and the way things are and stuff like that, but it doesn't do it in a preachy way. And I appreciate that a lot. And to anyone who hasn't watched X-RL7 yet, you don't even notice, honestly, I didn't even notice the messages after like the third episode. It was all entertainment. Everything else was like there to support it and nothing but entertainment past then. And that statement inspired me to do Trolling as Usual, my latest hip hop song. And like people like you are inspirational to so many people. And I bet you don't even realize how many people that you are inspiring to. Like, for instance, Nick Weiser. We need more gents like you guys making original content. Yes, we do, sir. And he made a video promoting original content. So go check that out when you're done here. But do you think that you're an inspirational force? Like, do you feel like one? That's a weird question, but
I feel like a dude in my living room.
Right?
It's I've had quite a few people say that, and in various capacities, either just in my. There's been a few viewers that have said things like it inspired them to do certain things musically or various things, and it's a really. I kind of have to take a moment to connect with that because I feel a bit removed from it because it's just me doing what I do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when I do take a moment, it's I do feel very blessed and very grateful for that because yeah, it is very meaningful. Because of course I know how it is to respect other artists and be massively influenced by them. So to think in any way that what I'm doing, what we do, you know, like can affect someone else or inform someone else's creativity, that's fantastic. Which I was surprised and when you said that there was some influence of the series on that song which you did.
Yeah, I had never considered doing anything electronic related. Like, you know, I've used electronic beats in my hip hop, but I had never actually considered doing like, I don't want to call it EDM because it's not dance music, in my opinion. It's gone way beyond electronic dance music at this point. And like, so I wanted to do something that was kind of techno feeling. And I love the fact that I sound like that one band that you sent me.
Like, yeah, man. If anyone doesn't know the band Massive Ego, who also appears in the show a little bit,
check it out.
Check it out. That song really reminded me of a song of theirs called, what was it? The girl who gives gifts to crows or something like that. Something about crows. But Massive Ego are a great band, and that song really reminded me of them, dude. Just it happened to be your voice had a certain timbre to it. It sounded really nice. And yeah, it's a Massive Ego. Check him out. Also check out Sir TalksALot music.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking for, because you sent me a lot of links to check it out. And it's this one here. That's what it is. The girl who finds gifts from crows.
I was close.
Yeah, you were. And that was a stupid good song. Like, and I can totally see the similarities in it. But anyway, back to focusing on you.
Well, it's such a shame with that band, man, because they've broken up recently, but in such a way. Yeah, they released something this year, a new EP, but then they broke up, but in such a way that the dudes deleted all their social media, like their YouTube, Facebook, everything. So I don't know, man. It's the legacy. There's still stuff from there from the label, but it's like, seems like a bit of an overreaction to
a little bit. Yeah, man. I mean, at the very least, you'd still make money off of it because those guys are definitely monetized. So
yeah, definitely.
Man, that's sucks. Bizarre. I hate it when a good band breaks up.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn it, Yoko. Anyway.
Yeah. We're back.
So what kind of movies and stuff do you like to watch?
Interesting. Because I haven't watched anything decent in a while. I was in a phase for a while where I was really into Asian cinema. But at the moment, whatever's on Netflix, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, we watch the old trending stuff that pops up. Message or not. And dude, I'm not sure. Help me out. What are you into at the moment?
I am currently into some of the older superhero related entertainment. I know it's not a movie, but I'm currently going through Smallville again.
Hey.
I've been giving into my son's requests a lot lately, catching up on kids' movies that we didn't have a chance to watch. Not impressed with them, but like we just watched The Croods 2. That's garbage. But like my bigs are like sci-fi and action movies. Like anything from the 80s action-wise, gold.
Oh, God, yes.
Like there's some modern action movies that I don't mind, but most of the stuff that I watch is older media. So, I mean, what's your favorite movie? Like, which one do you think you could watch till the end of time?
This may be predictable, but Blade Runner.
Nice.
If you've seen the show, Cyberpunk, RT, beautiful, gorgeous, that sort of Tokyo sort of vibe. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think it's one of those films you can watch and just notice new things and take new stuff from it, like every time you watch it, even to this day. Original Blade Runner.
Yeah, not that new trash with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Not that new stuff.
But yeah,
Hail Parrot Head. Sorry. You're good.
But yeah, that was a big influence on me, I think. It's same with Cyber City, because that cyberpunk vibe, there's just something so romantic about it. I don't know what it is, just those neon vibes. It's just something very cinematic and very picturesque about that's kind of stayed with me since I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So with the show, put on some glows.
Yeah, dude. Blade Runner is a definitely clear influence on your show. It's good. I don't normally do this, but I have to go fill an oxygen tank. So I apologize. This is stupid. Nick Weiser, if you're still there, I'm shooting you a link to Vamp for me for a minute. If you can do it. Because mother-in-law's got to get out. Yep, adulting is always just jump in and do it. Nick Weiser, are you available? I need you to answer me, Nick. Anyway, so got Blade Runner. Were you ever? Did you ever see? This is a weird thing that just popped into my mind, but Children of Men.
Is that the Brazilian thing?
It was. I want to say it was actually a UK video. It had. What the hell is his name? This is how bad I am with names. Like even big names, I can't remember. So Clive Owen. I don't know why I can't remember that, but it was a Clive Owen post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Like there's been no natural births for the last like 30 years, and like it was a crazy dystopian future kind of thing. It had a similar feel to Blade Runner. It wasn't quite as epic, but it was good. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. Hello,
feel
lovely
like
Sherry.
feel like it does. The poster rings a bell. Definitely. It reminds me of like Equilibrium a little bit.
Yes, dude. Equilibrium was an underrated movie. Like that gunjitsu shit was sick.
It was, man. It was. That's pretty sweet. Thinking of ripping some of that off for an episode.
Hell yeah, dude. Why not? Pay a little homage to that. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that is a lie. It says someone just shot me a Ko-Fi, but it is not popping up. Sorry. My super chat. There it is. Christian Delorme for $3 doesn't give a message, but hail and thank you. I am starting a new digital campaign. You guys will see it tomorrow. Hopefully it'll work out. And contributions like that one get me more tools to work with. So thank you, Christian. It's always great.
That's a good review you did the other day, by the way. That was a very insightful, the social political.
The Rise of Skywalker one?
Yeah, that was pretty deep.
It was good stuff.
It kind of reminds me of something Roggers did actually on because we had this before X-RL7, we had this Project Anything channel. It's called Project Anything. And it was mostly animation, but there was a couple of times Roggers would do reviews, and they weren't actually reviews. It was more about just stream of consciousness, like him, first thing that's coming to his head sort of thing. And he did a review about in one of the, I'm slightly spoiling your review here, I apologize. He did at one point he mentioned that film Buried with what's his name, the Deadpool dude,
Ryan
Reynolds, and he'd never seen the film, but he just made an off the hand comment like, Buried, it's rubbish, whatever it is. So we decided to do a review about that, even though he hadn't seen the movie. So it was awesome.
That's great because I like making fun out of these things. Like that's the important part of what we do, is making it fun. If you don't make it fun, it becomes work. And it never feels like work to me, like creating. And
that's good.
Yeah. Are there any times where you're kind of like lost on where to go with the show with RXL7? X-RL7? I don't know why I fucked it up like that. Wow.
Everyone does. It's fine. I think because there's story, it's kind of a bit abstract, but I kind of know where certain characters are going or certain arcs are going or what certain characters represent. And because of that, I kind of know the direction it's going, but the specifics of how to get there sometimes require a bit of thought. But because of that, it's a bit open, so surprises can happen, and you know, because the story is not set in stone, there's different ways of getting there. So I'd never really get to a point of like, I haven't yet come to a point where it's been like, you know, I don't know what to do, but it does require some thought sometimes to work out how to get there. But because of that, it's like Blue Starly, who appeared in the show. The story about him getting involved was I shot him a message on his website because Blue Starly, you know, one of my favorite bands. Just I noticed he was independent, like he wasn't on the big label he was on anymore. So I thought, let's give it a go, see what happens, give it a go. So I sent him a message, and nothing happened for a week and a half. And then I got a message from his wife / manager, Priya, saying that, they were definitely interested and they really enjoyed it. And I had nothing. I had no character. I had no story. I had nothing at all. But just the prospect of Blue Starly being involved, I was like, oh my God. So I took some of those ideas of where I wanted to go with it and certain things and crafted this episode in like a week. And it's one of the most popular episodes now. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, a bit of flexibility never hurts. So
no, not at all. So here is my wonderful counterpart, Nick Weiser. I'm going to stick him up here. I'm going to disappear and go fill an oxygen tank. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
Good. I appreciate the last minute support. I gotta go.
It's all good, man. I can hold down the fort. I never thought I'd be doing this before, so let's do this.
It's a party now.
Talking with Nick Weiser. Go.
Yes. All right. So what's going on, Mike? What were you last talking at?
Sorry, what was that, Nick?
What were you last talking on?
We're just talking about artists being involved in the show and stuff like that. But I want to ask you about metal, man. So
talk to me.
We got anything with you singing on? Because I want to hear it.
Any reviews?
No, anything of you actually like singing or growling or anything
singing.
like that.
There was a band I was in over 10 years ago called Human Artifice. We had stuff on YouTube. I don't know if it's still up. I've not looked for it in years. And there was no like actual, I guess you could say, proper singing, but there was definitely some screaming, like I guess death metal-y type of vocal style. I don't know if it's still around. I'd have to look it up. When the band split up, it was kind of like one of those I never looked back type of thing. It is definitely something I am kind of curious about, though, if it ever was a thing. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. If I find something, I will gladly let you know.
That's such a metal name, by the way.
I was in a few bands during the time. There was a few bands I was in, and I was in a bunch of death metal bands. Of course, being the singer, that was what I did. I wrote the lyrics. I did a lot of the promoting for the bands per se. So it was a good run. It was fun, and I think I did a few shows where I played to a few hundred people. I think the biggest one I played, I think it was 400 or 500 at one point. That was fun, and that was, man. What was it? That was a while ago. Yeah, that man, we're talking 12, 13, maybe 14 years ago. So I almost forgot. It feels like another lifetime ago even. But yeah, good times in the world. Playing live is great. But luckily I found a great replacement to that with being here on YouTube, because I get a mixture of like a bunch of foodies. I get a mixture of a bunch of movie critics, a mixture of a bunch of metalheads. I get a mixture of like just general like normie types. And I have all these different, I guess you could say, audiences on my channel that are looking for my perspective. And it's like I'm there for the personality, like for my channel. And you just happen to get my take on pizza or on some comic book that I'm reading. I get a lot of the comic book geeks too. They're all over on my channel as well. So it's nice. Like being in band is great, but now I get to be running a show on here. And it's kind of like running a band, really. Like when I get my panel together for Toxic Tuesday, like my panels, they're like the bassist, they're like the drummer, they're like the guitarist. You got to have certain people help carry the show in certain ways. And like my buddy Mark D with a C, he helps keep the visuals going for Toxic Tuesday. So in some ways, he's like the equivalent of the lead guitarist. And you got guys like Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge. For me, he's like ultimately he's the backbone of Toxic Tuesday. He's the comedy. He's a man with a very radio type of voice. He really helps keep the glue together, especially when he's there. So yeah, I mean, running a panel like that is essentially like a band. I'd say the same thing even with the Dick's division on Yelling at Park Cars. If I had to guess my band position on Yelling at Park Cars, I'd probably be the bass player, with obviously Comics being the singer. TalksALot would definitely be him, and Culture would be the guitarist, and I'd say Brahma Bull would be the drummer, with Toxic Man Flu being our manager. That's where I see it. If we were a band, that's what it would be.
Man, Toxic Man Flu, he's like an unsung hero, I've got to say.
Oh my God, is he?
I'll tell you what, like when Comics invited me on the live stream that first time, dude, which I was stoked and really honored that I was invited, but being a bit introverted, my first honest reaction was like, God, no, because like, going on a live stream, with a group of people, I never thought I'd be doing that. And Toxic is, I must say, man, like he was really good at kind of helping me feel part of the community and know what was going to go on before we did that. And I think he's such an asset to the channel and to what you guys do. So shout out to Toxic if you're checking this out.
Oh, agreed, man. Shout out to Toxic Man Flu indeed. No, he really does bring an added layer of professionalism to our shows that like I really feel like since he got on board, he just kind of like said, he just basically came in there, took charge, and says, we're going to update the professionalism and quality of the show. And he's really kept us a lot more together. And well, of course, so when he came on, and then of course, Brahma Bull really rounded the band up. So it's just like, wow, we really feel like a perfect entity of a unit now. I love it. Like, I feel like these last several episodes we've done with all of us have been some of the best ones we've done. Well, since this has been basically an entire band. So I think maybe Corey might agree. Like we've been on a stride lately with these last several episodes. They really have been really good. Like the numbers, it's not just the numbers that have been better, but it's like how we have a conversation together. It's definitely a lot more not just thought out, but we definitely let each other say our stuff out a little bit more and speak out before, and not, I guess you could say, collide as much as we used to. I wasn't saying collide like in like we're disrespecting each other. We all such an ADD that we want to have our voice be heard. I think now we're a lot more, we let each other speak more. I think we definitely have developed a better chemistry more. Like you really see us, we're all in tune with each other, which I love too. And of course the humor has not just escalated, that went through the roof, the humor. And then of course with the added production videos that Corey has added, like it really has become like, it's almost like we're developing a culture in a sense, Dick's Division culture. Like it's great. And the fact that now that there's merch come in and like we got songs, like I'm like, man, this is the future. We're gonna have a Dick's meetup too. Like we're me and Talks are talking about setting up a Dick's meetup next spring. Like, dude, Dick's is the way of the future.
Well said.
Thank you.
Wow. I would agree that with Toxic Man Flu's influence, we have definitely smoothed out some edges. Now that it's been over a year and a half, we've definitely learned each other well enough to not shit on each other too much, and it's a good time. So, Nick, thank you for vamping for me. Those liquid oxygen tanks are a pain in my ass. So,
it's all good, brother. My pleasure.
So, real quick, we're gonna step back to the chat and say hello, Sean Estep. Hello, Stephen Ransom. It is wonderful to see you guys. Always great to have you here. So, Mike, not to spoil anything, but is there anything big coming up for X-RL7? You have them.
Yeah, there's so the episode after this one, which I think should be out in next month, mid next month, because to be honest, I've only just got some of the files in. So once that one's out of the way, I've got this other episode which has quite a lot of significant people in, and one particular guy who's I think he's going to be the highest profile person in the series this year. I've got something with him which is a screamy ass track, which I'm curious what Nick would think about that. Yeah. That's one I'm really looking forward to. It's got quite a big person in. And yeah, that's so obscure. That's so mysterious. But I don't want to give it away just yet. But
hey, you got me hooked. I'll be there. So,
but yeah, the problem is because animation obviously takes a while. So actually being on Thursday Night Throwdown and speaking to you guys, it has actually inspired me to really try and get something out every week. So a side series which is a bit lighter weight to just get things rolling. So I've got 2 side series that I'm hoping to put out maybe starting this week and then continuing, which is just a little bit lighter. One, some stuff with Alfie, the band manager, having a sort of weekly sort of musings, and another which is kind of what we spoke about, which is like various movies, games, anime, which kind of inspired the series a little bit, and just briefly touching upon them. And I'm quite excited about that because it's finally something which reaches outside of the show and mentions things, outside of X-RL7. Because one thing about doing an original show with original characters is it's kind of hard for people to find it because you're not referencing stuff that already exists, right? So I'm excited about putting that out, and we've got some good stuff happening.
I am absolutely looking forward to that. Now, as a brand new musician myself, I have to ask, because this drives me nuts. How often do you get your own songs stuck in your head?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
That's a good thing. I know I'm cutting in between the two of you, but that's a good thing, because the thing is with a song, and this is something even my musician friends like have the hardest time comprehending, dare I say. You can be talented, you can shred a million notes a minute, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as far as being a great musician. You gotta be a great songwriter. You want to write something that people remember, whether it's a riff or a lyrical line. You want something people are going to come back to. You want something when you're not even like doing anything, or if you're actually even busy doing something, all of a sudden something comes into your head, or see, it's stuck in your head, just like that. You want something that people can remember. That's what it's all about. That's what gets them coming back.
Well, I've had Apotheosis Man stuck in my head since I watched that show the first time. So,
thanks,
I mean,
that's great to hear.
Hey, you do good work. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're probably one of my favorite modern artists.
Wow. Thanks so much, man.
Actually, I'm going to take that back. I don't listen to modern music. So you're probably my favorite modern artist right now. Especially like,
Thanks,
I feel like a lot of the technoverse and a lot of like dubstep's gone to garbage. It was good for like a year and a half and then it was just trash. But like as far as like the evolution of techno and electronic music and stuff like that, especially with the metal elements in it, I feel like there's so much potential in that genre that like you possibly could do this like forever. I know that's not a goal, but like, I mean, any this is a stupid question to ask a creator, but any end game insight? Like, do you know where you want it to end?
No, we'll keep going and going. So
Nice.
But that's the plan. Even if the story gets wrapped up, the main story, there's still side stories, side characters, side things to explore. And to touch upon what Nick was saying earlier about songwriting, I think a lot of beginner bands and people like that make the mistake of, especially guitarists, of making really shreddy songs, or if it's electronic, sometimes it's more about the noises and stuff more than having a song there. So one thing, like my songwriting thing now is I write pretty much every song off an acoustic guitar to start with. So you've got the core song there. And I think that's a really good way of making sure that you write something that connects and isn't just an ego trip of, watching me shred or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you can write something and get something stuck in your head, your own music, then you're on the right track.
Hell yeah. So Rihanna wants me to ask you about Patreon. Apparently you guys have a Patreon somewhere?
We do. It's do we? Yeah. Yes.
He's like, I don't know, do we? Can someone ask?
Well, okay, this is sales pitch mode, which has been initiated now. If you would like to support the series, we do have a Patreon, and there's a whole bunch of exclusive music there. Pretty much every song has the demo version with my guide vocal, instrumentals, and a whole ton of stuff behind the scenes, more Roggers recording, updates, stuff early. Yes, that's a sales pitch, X-RL7.
And in case you guys want to do that from here, here's the Patreon link. Just drop that in the chat. Make sure you check that out. Help these guys out. Support them. And yeah, it's what we do, man. We got to help each other out because we don't have a giant group of promoters or anything working for us or anything like that. Like we have this wonderful fandom collective on Twitter, which for $1 a month they promote all your stuff. But they have a decent reach. But we help promote however we can.
Everyone watching and the Dix Division are legit. It's so nice to. I'm so glad I've been introduced to all of you and this great community because you guys are so cool. It's not like anything I've experienced prior to,
Yeah, we try. I mean, we try. I guess there's that culture guy. He's He's okay, I
culture
guess.
guy.
That's
got a nice
hair.
beard.
Well, here's what I like with the Dicks is like we're actually trying to commit to like promoting original content. Like we don't want to just talk about, hey, we need to support alternatives. We need to actually do the support. And like that's why you see a lot of us committed to like something like Gilded. We're really all in on Gilded. Like obviously I know you use Discord, but it's a great alternative from Discord and some of their, I guess you could say, big tech policies that are now very well aware of in the world. And then we got like obviously you, Mike, you have your music and you have great incentive with your Patreon to get people like want it. That's how you do. You want to get people to want that stuff, and you're actually not just an alternative, but you're a great alternative at what you do. Like even earlier today, I posted a video on a comic book that came out via Indiegogo. Sure, I could have went and rant about the next Marvel DC book of who went gay or who went woke, but instead I promote a book that I've been reading and rereading again. I'm like, I'm gonna put this out there. And I really believe in the book to a point where I felt like I need to make a quick 5-minute video and talk about it so people could take notice. And when I feel like there's something out there we should talk about and actually commit to the alternative. So not just say it and not have anything to show for it. So the Dicks Division is all believing in alternatives and committing to them.
Dicks Division going hard.
Long, hard, and strong, baby.
Dicks jokes.
Oh,
Never get old. Anyway.
That's going to be huge.
So
huge.
So we're reaching the end of our hour together, Mike. And I do appreciate you coming on. So this is the portion where I tell you, pitch what you got going on. I know you just did the sales pitch for the Patreon, but where else can we find you? It's
Spotify, music there. We recently got 1 million streams on Spotify, which is pretty fucking cool.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, man. So Spotify, if you want to hear some tunes, we got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got the website, we got the Discord, and of course the YouTube, where new music, new episodes. I'm struggling here. You caught me off guard. So yeah, but the YouTube's where it's at. That's the main place. We've got the videos there, episodes, side series, and all sorts. So yeah, man, check us out.
And you're on Newgrounds.
Thanks, Raz. Yes, we're on Newgrounds as well.
I haven't been on Newgrounds in forever.
You know what I noticed recently? Because I hadn't been on there in years since starting X-RL7, and I tell you what, they are flooded with porn now.
Yeah, they were getting
porn.
that way when I left. I was like, okay. Like I liked the Joe cartoon stuff and like the weird violent games that you got, but then it was all like, hey, check this out, female. And I was like, no, I'm good. But so you're on Newgrounds, you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube, Patreon, X-RL7. I said it right that time. X-RL7 official. Check them out. They are fantastic. And Nick, since you're here, go ahead and pitch.
Okay. Well, first off, I'm gonna double down on X-RL7, guys. He actually has the skill set. He has receipts, and as you heard him say earlier, he has a Patreon with an incentive to sign up for. He has 1 million plays. That's not something to frown upon on Spotify.
No,
and
dude,
there's a lot of yes, you could say what you will about the app and whatever in general, but as far as the reach, 1 million is huge. So that is something that we got to keep in mind. And I have a channel too. I posted a video earlier today. It is titled First Man Learning Curve is a great example of heroism. Let me tell you why. I posted that. Tomorrow night, Toxic Tuesday, we'll be talking RoboCop. And then Comic Shop Talk Friday night, we'll be talking Batman Suits Part 3. And of course, I'm on Midnight's Edge After Dark. And I yell Park Cars with the Dicks Division on Monday night. And a mighty, mighty hail to the chat. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And thank you to Mike for coming on with our friend Corey here. And Corey, thank you for sending me a last minute invite. I love hanging with you any opportunity I can get.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate the last minute save. And wow. Sorry, chat messages, typos. They break my brain every time. I will not be on any other live streams this week. Unfortunately, I actually have to work. I know I was supposed to take the summer off, but life happens. So next week, I will be back on full force. Tomorrow, I will be releasing my new format for Thinking Out Loud. I've got stuff coming out on Thursday. There's no Dark Philosophy this week. That will come back next week with the Drew, the Supreme Heretic himself.
Ooh.
Beware the Drew.
That's gonna be huge.
He will also be on Talking with TalksALot next Monday. So it's all Drew next week, and it's going to be fantastic. Make sure you check him out at the Supreme Heretic. As always, thank you everyone for joining. Go check out Mike. X-RL7 on every platform. Support him wherever you can. This man is the next big thing in entertainment. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say to the contrary. This guy is where it's at. On that note, I will leave you all with my standard lovely message of stay sexy and don't get murdered.
Hi! If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more of it and more like it, then donate to the Ko-Fi link in the description. Thank you.